Welcome back to another episode of the Amateur Hour podcast. I have Colin with me today.
Hello.
Jack is with me.
Bonjour.
Roman is with me.
What's up?
I'm Jacob, and today we're going to be talking about the greatest sports games of all time. So not series, not seasons.
Individual.
Single games that are the greatest of all
Games or
time.
moments? Throw that in.
No.
No?
I said games. I didn't say moments.
Okay. Games it is then.
Games. These single greatest games. And just to start off, just so we know what we're talking about, I will go first. The greatest, arguably the greatest game I've ever seen in my life on TV was the Cleveland Cavaliers versus the Golden State Warriors. Game 7 of the 2016 NBA Finals.
That was a great game.
Incredible. The end of the game, incredible. From LeBron's block,
Kyrie's
to Kyrie
step back three,
saucing up Steph Curry's step back three, incredible.
The Warriors didn't score a point for 4 minutes. For the last 4 minutes, the Warriors did not score a point.
Insane.
Everyone was in awe watching that game.
Cleveland's first, the first championship in Cleveland in like 4 decades. LeBron coming back Cleveland, getting that championship.
Finally getting the championship.
Just at the Oracle, just insane atmosphere, insane, like absolute scenes, like insane, crazy.
All right.
My favorite game I've watched.
Okay.
Favorite game I've watched? It's got to be Atlanta versus New England. Super Bowl.
Super Bowl?
This game, come on, that game was
That
nuts.
was a very
to
good
be down,
game.
was it
That was
28-3?
28-3 in the
And
third
the comeback,
quarter.
I remember watching that
In the
live.
third quarter.
I was in awe thinking the game was done.
At halftime, I thought the game was over.
I almost turned it off. I even went to bed.
I can't say the same,
I knew
but
it. My
I know what you mean.
But
watching them-
It was that.
I remember gassing up the Atlanta Falcons on Twitter because I really hate the Patriots. And
I hate the Patriots.
And I was really
Who likes
excited
the
the Patriots were going to lose the Super Bowl. And then, well, my life fell apart before my very eyes.
How fast you delete that tweet?
I don't think I ever deleted it.
Ah, attaboy.
One thing that went unnoticed during that game was Julio Jones' catch in like the end of the third quarter, beginning of fourth quarter. He made like a little 10-yard like post outside, and he made like this crazy catch and like just got his feet in, and people were finally like, okay, the like Falcons are gonna finally pick it up again, but they didn't.
Like, you talk, like, for me, the moment in that is the Julian Edelman, the ridiculous
crazy.
catch.
Crazy.
Like, 3 guys on him, ball was up, hits somebody's leg, and he just props it up and somehow catches it. Like,
Crazy stuff.
I've said it before on a podcast, but every Super Bowl win has that insane, like, crazy catch to, like, get you that. Like, or, like, that should get you it. Like,
Steelers, the Santonio Holmes catch.
Yeah. The,
Eli Manning.
David Tyree, the helmet catch.
David Tyree.
Eli Manning to Mario Manningham on the
Manningham.
sidelines against the Patriots.
Yeah.
When Russell Wilson threw that one to, was it Cam Chancellor?
No, he threw it to Doug Baldwin.
The one that should have been the catch that won you the Super Bowl, but then you threw the ball on the 1 yard line.
Oh no, it was Jermaine Kearse. He threw it to Jermaine Kearse and Malcolm
And it,
Butler.
like, hit somebody's leg and he popped it up. No. Not the Malcolm Butler play. There was a few plays before that where...
that was Jermaine Kearse as well.
Yeah.
That was also
and he,
Jermaine
like, propped
Kearse.
up. That kind of one should have been, but, you know...
That should have been the play of the Super Bowl.
That
but
play.
nope, we have to throw the ball on
And
second
that other
and,
one was
like,
that
one.
play in that Super Bowl.
Insane. Absolutely insane.
Jack, do you have one?
Greatest game?
Or one of the greatest games you've ever seen?
Yeah, it's gotta be the Canada versus Russia 2009 World Juniors.
The Jordan Eberle with like 5 seconds
Jordan
left.
Eberle?
Insane.
Yes.
I remember watching
The
that.
crowd was absolute scenes. I know Corey was privileged to be at that game.
Corey McEwen, friend of the show.
Yes. Good friend of Mature Hour.
Yes.
Just watching it live with friends and family was absolutely insane.
I remember watching it.
The hype
I
around
remember
it
watching
was
that game,
incredible.
too. Yeah,
The
that
hype
was-
around Eberle in general was
I mean,
just-
the Eberle hype was already there, and it just skyrocketed after
Yeah.
that.
It was
game.
semifinal. I've never known a game that well as a semifinal.
Yeah, they were down. I believe they were down 5-4 late. They scored. I think
Yeah.
with John Tavares scored the 5-5 goal. Eberle scored both.
Well, he scored.
Oh, sorry. Were they? Who scored an OT? They won an OT.
No, they won shootout.
Oh, okay.
You think
Eberle
Yeah,
scored.
yeah,
He scored
yeah.
once.
No,
Scored to make it
no.
5-5, and then got the game-winning goal in shootout. He got because they won 2-2 in shootout.
I want to watch the highlights of that game after this.
Yeah.
So-
Oh no, I know all these.
My pick, this is a more recent one. This was probably one of the favorite games I've ever watched. Raptors-Philly Game 7. For what that
Yeah.
Man?
game meant for the Raptors and for the entire country of Canada, for me, I felt like, okay, we can do this. Like, for 4 and 5 years before that, it was just heartbreak after heartbreak, right? Like, running into LeBron, not being good enough to get to that championship caliber level. And with that shot, that was the gods of
Yeah,
basketball.
absolute euphoria watching
That I remember, I was so in shock. I like dropped to my knees and I couldn't even say anything. And after it registered, like 20 seconds later, I was running around my house screaming. That was
And I remember
craziest thing I've
that's
ever
one of those
seen.
you remember exactly where you were when it happened. I remember I was in my basement.
I was in my
watching
basement.
with Deshaun, for another friend of the show. We've name dropped him multiple times.
Shout out to
Episode
Sean.
7. In my basement, just both like kneeling over watching the TV, like just like shredded with nerves, and then that happens, and we just go.
The last
ballistic.
5
Yeah.
minutes of that game was probably
That
the
you know
most
a lot
nervous
of
I've
a
ever
lot
been.
of these games boil down to little moments because you get like I really think about this a lot, like when it was it 90-90 and then Kawhi made it 92-90.
It was 90-90 and then he made it 92-90.
So
yeah.
it was even further. It's 89-88. Kawhi misses a free throw to make it a 3-point game. So we're only up by 2 because Kawhi missed a free throw.
Yeah.
And Jimmy Butler goes down the other way, and he has JJ Redick, who's absolute moisture on the perimeter.
Yeah.
Like
It's-
straight wet,
it's filthy.
right?
He's
Jimmy
like
Butler
mildew on the-
fakes the pass to the open JJ Redick to take an easy layup. Now, what I think about all the time is that if Jimmy Butler passed it to JJ Redick, who probably could have hit the 3, the Sixers would have had a lead going into that last play. But instead, Jimmy Butler hits his easy layup, gets
It's
the tie.
tied.
It's tied. Kawhi goes, hits a miraculous shot. But I also think, what would have happened in OT if we didn't hit that shot? But
I don't know. That's
again,
what I'm saying.
Nobody knows. And right
Game
now,
7, anything can
the
happen.
Raptors are NBA champions as a result.
Like what I said before, like what that game meant to Canada and to
Oh, yeah,
every
the whole
Raptors fan was tremendous. Like that was literally the basketball gods giving us that win, and it felt so good.
My next pick, I kind of want to move away from basketball now. I'll go Manchester United, Manchester City, the derby where it was 4-3 and Michael Owen scored the winner in the 96th
I remember
minute.
watching that game.
United, somehow Darren Fletcher managed to score 2 goals in one game. Miraculous. Yeah. And Craig Bellamy in the 91st minute made it 3-3.
I remember there were a lot of action.
There
in the
was
final
4
10 minutes of the
minutes
game.
of stoppage
best games.
time, but in the it was about 95:30 on the clock. Giggs slots it in behind, and Michael Owen outside his right foot into the right side netting wins the derby for United. Like just absolute limbs in.
I remember
Old
watching
Trafford
that game.
when it happened.
That was so
incredible
crazy.
game.
At the time,
Incredible
Michael
game.
Owen was my favorite player. I even had a Michael Owen.
I have
Manchester United jersey.
I have a Michael Owen jersey
Yeah.
hung on my
I
wall at
love
home.
Michael Owen. And then when he came to
Owen,
Manchester,
baby.
I was so amped.
Absolute
I remember watching that
scenes.
game, and because both of mine and Jacob's parents are Manchester City fans, and when we were young, they would always get together and watch the games, and like I hated watching them like get excited over Manchester City because at the time, Man United was still the
dominant force.
They were the dominant team in Manchester. Like now, it's not the same, but back then, I hated having them win, and then. Man, yeah, I remember watching that game. It was crazy.
Insane game.
Alright, well, speaking of Man City, I'm gonna throw it to them. I'm sorry, boys. Man City QPR.
Oh, Roman, you had to do that. Man.
I had to.
Right
come
after
on.
that,
It's not a
Come
best game
on.
in history just because of the repercussion. I don't know.
Really?
It's
they won.
Do you not? They
Was
won.
that their
Yeah,
first
Yeah, it
two
was a
goals?
big deal, but I don't
Was that
think
their? It was their first Prem championship, and
their
they came
first.
back from 2 goals down in like the 89th
No,
minute.
they were only 2-1 down.
They were
But
Oh,
2-1
but-
down. They needed to win.
They
But they
scored
needed
2
to win,
goals
yeah.
in the 90th minute in a game they had to win the Premier
Because
League.
United actually won
job,
their
did their
game.
job.
Yes, Man
United,
United won their game, and they were waiting to watch the last 5 minutes of that game
United
too.
beat Sunderland 1-0. By the time they finished, QPR was still winning 2-1. So QPR were doing United a favor. United had the league. It was the only separation was goal difference.
United needed a win, and a Man
They were
City
tied
draw
on
or
points.
loss.
They were tied on points. United either needed to win by like 10 goals, which wasn't gonna happen. They ended up being Sunderland 1-0. And when the game ended, it was like what it was a 2-1 lead for QPR, and Edin Dzeko scored like 91st minute on a corner. He's headed in, and then Aguero scored like 94th.
But come on, when you think of that Aguero's goal, can you not remember the commentator scream his name?
All I
We can all
remember,
remember
I
that.
don't-
all I
I
can
hate it.
remember is
Oh, we
sitting
all-
there
you hate it.
and hearing the commentator scream and the camera just
Yeah.
shaking
To-
because everyone in the entire stadium is going
To this
bananas.
this day, I have not watched that goal again. Anytime I ever see it, like on TV or on my computer, I just skip it or turn off TV. I can't watch that goal.
Another one
It infuriates me.
Another one.
Yeah, it's just how it is.
I don't want to talk about this one. I just want to put it out there because it probably is. It's Milan-Liverpool in instant.
I was gonna say at the 3-3 Champions League final 2005,
I hate talking
AC
about
Milan
it.
were up 3-0 at halftime, and in the
In
space
the Champions League final.
in the Champions League final, no less, and in the space of I believe it was 8 minutes. I think it was 52, 54, 60, or the
Yeah.
54, 56.
Yeah. 8
But
to 12
in
minutes, you're
under
correct,
10
yeah.
minutes, in between 50 and 60, Liverpool scored 3 times to equalize, and then in extra time, Jerzy Dudek robbed Andriy Shevchenko, who was I don't know if he was Ballon d'Or winner at the time, but he is a Ballon d'Or winner. Like 1 yard away from the net,
I don't think it was him.
Andriy Shevchenko absolutely robbed on the line. 100% that's what happened. And
No, 100%. I know. I'm watching it.
Liverpool won on penalties. You're like the hero saving an Andriy
Right.
Shevchenko
One
penalty.
of the worst games I've watched being a Milan fan, and there has been a lot of them.
Do you remember that game? Just curious. You were 5 years old. Do you remember that game?
Watching it was hell because I was sitting with my mother and my grandfather,
5-year-old?
both seeing them cry.
Mm.
It was not fun.
I didn't watch that game.
It was not fun.
I don't remember that.
No,
I
I
was
think-
too young.
Jack.
Sleeper pick for best game ever. Might be I'm a Kings fan, but
I know.
Shut up. You
Come
say
on.
Alec Martinez.
Don't throw
Alec
it in.
that is
Martinez.
not what I was gonna say.
Oh, okay.
Go ahead.
Okay.
Miracle in Manchester,
What's that?
Explain it.
What?
biggest comeback in Stanley Cup history.
No one knows.
They were
what it
down
is.
5-0 going into the third period. Won the game 6-5 in OT.
You need to explain more. 'Cause I have no idea.
All right.
what
Who
you're talking
played?
about.
How long
Edmonton-
ago?
What year? What series?
1982.
What game in the series?
Game 3.
1992.
1982.
Game 1982. Game 3
Listen
of
to
the
the Oilers
Stanley Cup
roster,
final.
all right? Listen to the Oilers roster. Mark Messier, Yari Curie, Glenn Anderson, Paul Coffey, Grant Fuhr, and Wayne Gretzky.
And it
That's
was
a lot of weapons.
it was
That
game-
is one of the greatest.
Wow.
You're
games
saying it was
ever.
Game 3 of the 82 Stanley Cup final. What was the series at the time?
No, it was, I believe, 2-1 LA in the series. No, sorry, 1-1. That doesn't make sense. 1-1 LA. Yeah.
And they won. They were down 5-0 and won that game.
Yes.
Going into the third, they were down 5-0 and they won.
The the situation of the game was not what makes it so important. It was the greatest comeback in
Well,
Stanley Cup history.
yeah, they were down 5-0 and ended up winning.
Against one of the
Did they
greatest teams.
win in OT
mean-
or did they win in regulation?
They won in
Just
OT.
curious.
5-0 and win in the third period.
Wow.
6-5 in OT.
Yeah, that
Nuts.
is insane. I'd never heard about the game till right now.
Messier,
That is,
Curry, Anderson,
yeah,
Coffey, Grant.
that one flies under the radar because you're right.
Yeah.
That is one of the best games of all time.
Absolutely.
Did LA win that series?
Yeah, they did.
They did. What was the final series? If you know.
The finals?
No. What was that the Stanley Cup final?
No, it was not.
Oh,
LA and Edmonton.
Whoa, boys.
that's true.
Kind of going off topic. We were talking about like old hockey and Wayne Gretzky. I saw the Wayne Gretzky's like crew stats. In 77, 78, he played for the Sault Ste. Marie Greyhounds. And he
The
put up
Sioux.
The Sioux, the dirty.
listen to this.
Sioux.
He put up 182 points in 64 games.
A point.
That's
3
almost
points per
3
game.
points
No,
a game.
that is like 60 games.
64 games
Oh.
versus 182.
Almost 3 points. Per
Almost
game.
3
Wow.
points a game.
Jack, I never knew about the game, but you're right. That is under the radar.
Very good pick. My pick. This isn't one of the greatest, like in terms of like sports history, or whatever. But this is one of the craziest games I've ever watched, and this is World Cup semifinal, 2014, Germany Brazil.
Yeah,
The onslaught that happened on that field.
I
was-
remember exactly.
It
watching
was
the game.
shocking. It was absolutely shocking.
It's been 5 years, and I just remember like my hands on my head, just like going like, "What the fuck is going on?"
Everyone in Brazil was ready for this. Like, I think it was Neymar who got hurt the game before.
Semifinal, Maracana.
So much hype around this game.
Like Brazil at home, so much hype. around
Literally,
this game.
the entire
And
world was watching this
Just
game.
quickly, I believe Thomas Mueller makes it 1-0. A little bit later, Miroslav Klose makes it 2-0, and then it took a little bit of time. Then they scored the third, the fourth, and the fifth in like 5 minutes.
It was
And
crazy.
I was just like,
it was like 5-0 by like 30 minutes
yeah,
in
and
the
I
game.
was just
It was
like,
stupid.
I was just like thinking. I'm sitting there thinking like, what the fuck is going on right now?
There were
Because
people in the stands were crying
bawling,
after 3-0.
Like I could not believe
It got
what
to
I
a-
was watching.
It got to a point where I felt so bad for the fans in the stadium that I was like hoping that something would happen. I was like, "Hey, Brazil, you guys gotta score, please! Like, do something."
Really, it's baffling to me to this day what really went on with the Brazil Demon because they were at their 6s and 7s to say the least. Like it just really wasn't there. I don't know. Hey,
They just
crazy.
took a piss the
Yeah,
whole game.
crazy,
I have
crazy.
no idea.
I can agree with that.
I have no idea.
My next pick, bit of a sleeper again, but the 2008 Wimbledon final. Roger
Alright, what?
Federer and Rafael Nadal play for 4 hours and 48
Wow.
minutes.
Those two have been around for a very long
It's
time.
widely regarded as the greatest tennis match in the history, and it's 6-4, 6-4, 6-7, 6-7, 9-7. So
Wow.
it's insane because Rafael Nadal wins it. He was up 2-0. Roger Federer
He was up 2-0.
2-0. Roger Federer.
Wow.
Nadal's up 2-0. Federer grinds back, wins 2 tiebreakers, and they go to 9-7. So every set with either one break that separates them or a tiebreaker.
Wow.
And it 4 hours and 48 minutes. And I remember I remember this day clearly. You and me were together, Colin. It was
We were at your house.
we were at my house.
I remember,
It was
yes,
2008.
yeah.
We started watching the game. We went to play golf. We came home and watched the rest of the game.
We did go play golf.
And we watched the rest of the game because that's how fucking long the game lasted. That we got home and it was still on TV after going to play golf. Insane. I remember I remember it. I remember the exact
I
moment.
remember it now, yeah.
Greatest sporting
Wow.
event of all time.
I didn't even
Oh,
think of
you're
that
gonna
one.
Skip me now?
Happy
No.
Gilmore, Sherman.
Roman, it's your turn now.
Happy Gilmore. I thought Jack was going. Sorry.
Sherman
When Happy Gilmore
Schumann-
defied the odds and
Schumann-
decided instead of the 2-putt, he'd go for the intricate 1-putt off of all
It's
the
gotta be
pipes.
up there. It's gotta be up there in
That's
greatest.
And
the
he
greatest shot in
one-putted
the history of
for
golf.
the Open Championship, the golden jacket. The golden
The
jacket.
golden jacket.
All right.
He's
one
doing
I'm
it for
gonna-
Chubbs.
For Chubbs.
Rest in peace.
And Abe Lincoln.
Rip.
Rest in peace, Chubbs.
Rest. All right. Well, I'm gonna throw in another one that Jacob's gonna hate. England, Argentina, 1986 World Cup.
Why?
What?
You need to explain why.
Okay, let me go.
None of us
this
were
is-
alive during
talk.
that.
I know
Let
exactly
me
what happened in
finish.
this game. I know how.
Better known as the hand.
don't know.
Better known as the hand.
Why is this? Why do you think this is one of the greatest games of all
Oh,
time?
the hand of
Why is it a
God.
good thing?
Okay.
Very
now I
honest,
Why is
recognize
that a good thing?
I'll-
I throw
let
in
me
as one
just-
of the most notorious.
I'm gonna go.
sports right
I'm
now.
gonna.
Notorious or greatest?
Listen. I'm gonna go through the game. The first goal, Maradona, hand of God,
Yes.
scores with his hand. Refs didn't see it. Second goal, Maradona scores arguably the greatest football goal.
Was
of
that
all
when
time.
he took it from half?
Took it from
Yes.
half.
That was in the same game?
Mhm.
Same game. Then John Barnes scores, not a consolation, but he scored a goal later on in the second half. John Barnes scores a goal to put England back in it, but England can't quite tie it up. Argentina go on to win the World Cup that year. That's a quarterfinal in the World Cup. I don't understand
It's a
why
semifinal.
it was not a semifinal.
It's a semifinal.
No.
Anyways, continue. I'll look it up. Continue your statement.
Wow. I didn't know that was
That's
the
all
same
I have.
game.
That's all I have.
That's crazy.
You're crazy.
No.
I don't see. Rowan, you need to explain. I'm gonna look it up. You need to explain why you think this is one of the greatest games of all time.
Why I think because it is arguably one of the worst mistakes a refs ever made
So
in
why
a
is it-
game,
why is
it
and
a
one of
great
the
game?
greatest goals in sports in
The
soccer
hand goal?
history. No, the
No, the
Maradona
other goal,
second
the one from center.
Both of them in
every-
the same game are
everybody's
two
seen it.
notorious events.
Everybody's seen that goal.
In a World Cup.
Maradona's goal?
Yes,
That
that,
was
goal
gross.
is
That was
nuts.
gross.
Yeah.
Plus the hand of God.
It's not.
That's why I
It's-
throw it in debate.
The
One
England,
goal
that's
doesn't make it the
and
greatest.
That's fair.
the Argentina
That's
England
why I throw it
game
in.
was a quarterfinal. I have confirmed it.
Yeah, you're right. I'm looking it up as well. Wow.
That good goal?
He's right. It's a quarter.
There was a
No,
very
it's a
good
quarter.
goal, and there was a hand of God in the same game.
That was a quarterfinal though.
That was
yes,
a quarterfinal.
It's a quarter. Yes.
I don't.
I don't.
Okay, whatever. Subject to opinion. Jack, move on. You have another one? Are you done? Jackson.
I mean, the Cavs Warriors.
This is what I said. The game
We have
7.
that was the first one said, I think.
I got one. Heat versus Spurs.
Oh.
Game 6.
Oh, the Ray Allen
was it
shot?
2013.
The Ray Allen
was
shot.
Was it 2013?
Or 2012. It's one of those.
2012, 2013, but everybody knows what I'm talking about right now. 30 seconds left in the game. Let's just set the scene. 30 seconds left in the game. It is 94-89 for the San Antonio Spurs. The game is in Miami, but with 30 seconds left, the Spurs are up by 5. They are up 3-2 in the NBA Finals. 30 seconds away from a championship.
Yeah.
Miami fans start pouring out the doors because they think the game is over. They don't want to see San Antonio
Yep.
lift that
They have
trophy.
LeBron. LeBron takes a 3, misses it.
No. Even before that.
Oh, wow.
Let's go before that. So it gets to the point. It's 94-92. Kawhi Leonard at the line. Again, like in the Philly series, we talked about Raptors Philly, goes 1 for 1 from the line, which leaves it open for LeBron to miss his 3. Now, this is one of the most underappreciated moments in sports history. Chris Bosh fights, grabs the
There
rebound.
were 3 guys around him.
3 guys around him. Chris Bosh fights, grabs the rebound, hucks it out to Ray Allen. And this shot, as much as it's acclaimed, this shot is underrated. No matter
Tony Parker was in his face.
no matter how much you rate this shot is underrated. I don't care if you think it's the greatest shot of all time. It's still underrated.
It's
because
underrated.
he catches it well inside the 3-point line. He steps back
Steps out.
with Tony Parker in his face. He's off balance and he shoots it awkwardly. And the percentage of chance that
Very
shot
low.
goes in, I forget the exact one, but I remember it being microscopically low. And he drills it to tie the game.
Yeah.
And after he hits that, Miami fans are like
Going
pouring
crazy.
at the gates trying to get back in, but there's no re-entry because they've already left.
Mm-hmm.
They're all trying to get back in to watch OT, but they can't get in. And Miami was 103-100 in
And they
OT
go on to win
and
the
win
championship
Game
that year.
7 and win the championship.
Who they beat that year? Was it Oklahoma?
I just said it's the Spurs. They were playing the Spurs in the final.
Oh,
Ah,
sorry,
listen.
my bad.
He's thinking something else.
All right, okay,
Let
my
me-
turn,
he's
my
thinking
turn,
something
my
else.
turn, my turn, my turn.
Go ahead.
Jacob
I'm good
skips
on mine.
me.
I'm good on mine. You go ahead.
Jacob skips me. 1993 World Series, Joe Carter home run.
Yeah.
Toronto
I
Blue
don't know.
Jays.
Yeah.
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 The Blue Jays, it was game 6. They were down 6-5 in the bottom of the 9th inning. Joe Carter steps up to the plate. 2 men on base.
Yeah.
Keep in mind.
Yep.
2 men on base and just absolutely kills
It
it.
is the only series-clinching home run in MLB history where the team who hit it was losing when it was hit. I believe there are 15 series-clinching home runs in MLB history.
But it was tied.
But the only one of those 15 where a team was losing was Joe Carter in the World Series.
and that was to secure
and
back-to-back
that
MLB
is
pennants.
one of the only 2 World Series clinching home runs. The other one was in 1960.
Yeah. That
I think those
is
are the only 2.
able to secure back-to-back home runs.
Back World Series.
World Series. My parents talk about this game a lot.
My parents were at the game.
So were mine.
That's crazy. My parents were
I have
at Laurier watching
I have the
game.
tickets framed in my room.
Really?
I
Yeah.
thought the Yankees
Oh,
beat Arizona in a walk-off in Arizona, like in the early 2000s.
In a World Series.
I don't know if it was
Was
a
it
World
the last
Series.
game?
Was it
Yeah.
was it a home run?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Or was
We can
it-
look it up after, but anyways.
I'm
My
I'm
parents
very
talk
confident-
about
I'm very confident
just
that's not the case.
streets flooding with
Versus
people
who?
after that
Arizona.
Joe Carter home run. Like
I
it
thought
was
so.
absolute
No?
chaos all over the country. Like just insanely nuts.
Yeah,
Insanely
I get
nuts.
stories from my grandparents and my parents a lot about the scenes like in the streets of Toronto. After that,
Yeah.
like I can attest to the Raptors beating the Golden State. I was driving all around Mississauga. That's where I live. All around Mississauga, and just insane scenes.
I was in Ottawa that night, and it was absolute.
Yeah,
That
sick.
was
like-
anywhere.
like,
I'm
it was
up
crazy.
In Burlington, it was nuts.
Yeah, honestly.
When was this?
Ottawa, Toronto Golden State.
Canada
Oh,
was
yeah.
absolute scenes. That
Canada
night.
was nuts.
I have another one if you guys don't mind.
Yes, of course.
Jose Bautista's bat flip home run against the Texas
No.
Rangers.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't think
For
awards- it is
Canada.
awards-
As a game
for
or a moment.
Canada.
As a game or a
A
moment.
game.
No.
Even after the
No, it
home
doesn't
run.
warm in a game. Doesn't
No,
warm
it
in a
was
game.
not more than it was the entire game was so crazy. We were down in the 7th inning, I think. Jose Bautista hits that. Fans are going crazy, throwing stuff on the field. Big brawl ensues, like all that stuff. Like
A fight warrants the greatest game of all time.
chill, man. It was huge for Canada. That was the first time that they'd been in the playoffs since that World Series. And we were down in that game 5 ALDS, and Jose Bautista hits one of the greatest, obviously behind Joe Carter, one of the greatest moments in Blue Jays history in that.
I
in
just
that
want to
regard.
clarify Jack's talk about the 2001 World Series between the Yankees and the Arizona Diamondbacks. It was 2-1 going into the 9th for the Yankees. Arizona won on a single. It was 2-2. They hit a single, walk-off single to win the World Series.
It was a
So,
walk-off.
it was a walk-off,
No,
but it
but
was
it
not a
wasn't a
walk-off
home run,
home
no.
run like
That's the difference.
Joe Carter and the others I mentioned.
Damn.
But yeah, that Joey Bats moment for me is one of the greatest games I've ever watched.
Yeah, I
It
can
doesn't
agree.
matter that it's
I
not the
remember
greatest game
watching
of all time.
That's a
remember
bias,
watching the
but
back
that
flip.
I've seen.
Obviously, it's a
I-
biased pick, but for me, that was
Yeah,
one of the
that's
greatest
biased,
games.
but I agree.
One
I
of the
remember
greatest
watching that.
games.
I remember watching that.
Crazy stuff.
I don't have any more.
Screaming at the top.
I'm
This
of
is
my
it for me. This is it
I'm
for me.
good.
I got one last one, I guess.
Yeah,
just to
we'll
throw
finish-
on the
we'll
bench.
finish on this
just
one.
for like I guess a basis of just a crazy story. I guess it's not necessarily one of the greatest games of all time. I'm just gonna throw in there for
Throw it
fun,
in.
like
LA.
a little honorable mention, right?
Alec Martinez.
Martin.
Or the
Not
first
even
one.
close.
No,
Not even
no,
close.
no.
Huddersfield Town promotion to the
Oh
Premier
Okay,
League.
my
okay. You know what? You know what?
That is a crazy story.
You know what? Yeah, Huddersfield were nowhere near being like in contention for promotion.
Negative goal difference.
Negative goal difference in the championship, the English League Championship, which is the second tier of English football. They came sixth, so they got into the playoffs. The 3 seed to the 6 seed make playoffs. They did not score a single goal, I believe,
In playoffs.
in playoffs.
Every
However,
single game. In
they
defense.
won. It was
Did they draw 0-0 like
Every
They won
game.
every
game?
single game. in
They
defense.
tied every. What happens is they're the 6 seed, so they played the 3 seed,
Yeah.
tied both games 0-0. They won on penalties. They went to the final at Wembley, tied 0-0, won on penalties.
They had no
and were
business. They had
promoted.
no
to
business doing
absolutely no business of making it to the Premier League. However, 0-0s and good defense and penalty luck went their way. Went to the Premier League and stayed up for a year, but then got promoted. And you know what?
Reality.
They're in high contention to get relegated from the championship this season.
Which shows how they
Poor.
should.
They should
nowhere
never
close.
have made the Premier League. They should have never made. They should never stayed up in the Premier League.
Oh yeah,
Miracles, 2
they're
miracles.
barely a
yeah.
championship team. Barely.
Yes,
So.
and we'll
Does
end it
anybody
on
have
that.
any more?
The match. Oh, you have one more?
I said, does anybody?
No.
have
Oh, I'm
one?
done. I'm
no,
done.
no.
That's
There's
it
not
for
a
me.
throw
Those
anymore.
games for me again. I'm just gonna reiterate the greatest I've ever seen. The game 7 between the Warriors and the Cavaliers. 2000.
I would agree, but I gotta say something different. I would say the Kawhi Game 7 against
No,
Philly.
I'm saying Atlanta, the Patriots. That was nuts.
Miracle Manchester.
The LA Kings '82 series.
Yes.
Okay, but how about the one you've ever personally
For
watched?
not repercussions, but greatest game, not based on repercussions.
How about let's say one you've seen, the greatest game you've ever watched.
Everly? It's gotta be Everly.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's a fair
Okay.
pick. All right,
That's
we'll end on that. Thank you for listening to another episode of the Amateur Hour podcast. If you have a game you think should have been on the list,
Let us
you
know.
can let us know.
We have Instagram.
Instagram,
Oh.
Twitter,
And
YouTube
oh my god!
at Amateur Hour PDC, Twitter and Instagram.
Really?
YouTube is Amateur Hour Sports. Go subscribe. Give us episode suggestions. We get to every episode suggestion at
Yes,
some
we do.
point. Come back again for some more daily content.